All right, hey everybody, this is Dylan Wiesner, Arm Custom Metals. I'm gonna give you a tour of the shop, show you what we do and how we do it. Follow me in the office. Here in the office, we have Trey. Trey runs the shop, he runs the office. Here's our color chart. There are 3 profiles. This is where you place an order. We're open to anybody, contractors, homeowners, do-it-yourselfers, you know, whoever. So we'll go in the shop and see how panels are made. Okay, so Trey's about to bend some formed ridge cap. And so formed ridge caps for a metal roof that is not as good of a pitch, say it's maybe like a 112 or even a 212. We use these a lot, or even if a customer doesn't want a normal ridge cap, we'll bend formed ridge. Okay, and so that's a formed ridge, and it just goes at the ridge. I mean, it's pretty simple. We can make it in R panel or ag panel and go up to about a 612 is about as high of a pitch as we can go. Over here, we have the panel machines. On this side over here, we have a PBU profile. And the PBU profile is a purlin bearing, PB, and then U is just the name of the panel. And it's a 6-inch spaced panel. And we can run it in any of the colors, 26 gauge, 29 gauge, or even 24 gauge. More of a residential application panel, less commercial grade, not that pole barn style panel or the R panel, which is like on a steel building. And then over here is it's a double stack machine actually, and it runs a ag panel as well as a PBR panel. On the bottom here, the bottom rollers will roll out a PBR panel, and then the top rollers roll out an ag panel, so we can switch it over and, you know, we can do multiple profiles in the day. We can start in the morning and do ag, and then in the evening do ours, or, you know, we got to shut down and switch over. It's pretty easy. All of our panels we have catchers for, which is really nice. A lot of companies don't have these. This just makes it's a much smoother process. It prevents the panels from, when they're dropping, getting scratched up, or when they're sliding. A lot of places will just run the panel on top of the next one, and you see a lot of scratches with that. So we can go back here and take a look at Matt. He's loading a coil for a job. So right now Matt's loading a light stone coil. He's loading it in the bottom for PBR. It's a 26 gauge panel. It's a purlin bearing panel, so it's a really nice strong panel. They'll feed it in the rollers here, and we'll get rolling some metal. So these are just stock coils, what we have. These are all our tip coils, all the colors. Back there we have more colors, you know, so if we're running a ton of metal, we can switch over. We're pretty blessed. We have a lot of awesome equipment. We have this blue lift here. This is a combi lift. So it'll drive forward and back, and then you flip a switch and it'll start driving sideways. So we gives us the ability to run a 45-foot panel in here, up to 45-foot panel, pick it up, back out, flip a switch, and then drive out the shop sideways, which is just a huge advantage. It's huge help for the guys too. So just over here across the lot, we have our trim shop. Any trim you can imagine, we can pretty much make it. We got a pretty awesome machine and some super talented guys. So in here we make gutters, downspouts, and then here's some gutter we did. We got an awesome machine, a Vario Bend, a 21-foot up-down folder. So it bends up and down, prevents our guys from having to take the metal out, flip it over, it bends up and down. We could do tapers. So like this piece right here is a tapered gutter. So on this end, it's a little smaller. On that end, it's a little bit bigger, and they just snap inside of each other and allows for much faster install time in the field. A lot less work from the guys having to notch all the corners and mess with all that. Snap it together and go. It's a huge help for the guys in the field. So right now, this is the Vario Bend. It's a 21-foot folder. It's an up-down folder with a slitter. It's an awesome piece of equipment. It makes these guys' jobs way easier. It allows them to get a lot more done in way less time. So like right now, he's able to do this stuff all by himself because it's cutting it for him. It's doing the bends. You can program it to feed it one sheet in with 10 different profiles, and it'll sequence it to get the least amount of waste out of that sheet. And you just click start, and it'll bend, you know, 2 pieces of this, 2 pieces of that, cuts it as it goes. So they just got done bending all this stuff right here.
We make 660 feet in 15 minutes.
Over here we got a Schechtel shear. So sometimes the guys, depending on the piece they're making, they might shear it down here, then take it over there. They might slit it and take it over here. It just depends on what they're doing, what makes most sense for that application. Over here we have our Raz. This is a machine we use for bending all of our heavy gauge, 16 gauge, 18 gauge, all that stuff. We bend it on this folder. We do a lot of custom hat channels, Eve members, things like that. Thing over here is G's, any of that stuff. So this is where we store all the coils. This is where the guys will grab a coil here and they'll bring it over here to the slitter. We make sure to put plastic on all of our trim pieces. Helps it keep it safe, keeps the paint on there. Once they've ran it through here, they can set the blades on the slitter. They're allowed to set the blades and get it to what they need to based on the pieces that they're making that day. Over here we have our trim roll formers. We can roll form 9 different pieces of trim, from J, ridge, all kinds of different stuff, rake, just some of the common pieces that we run all the time. We have trim roll formers for those. Back here we have Old Faithful. It's a 21-foot Talman single folder, and it's been here for a while. It's been millions of pieces of metal. It's a great machine. Over there we have a rack with flat pieces on it, some standing seam coils, some one-off materials back over here, and some more flat stock. Okay, lastly we'll go in the warehouse. The warehouse it allows us to buy bulk and give our customers the best price. So as you can see, we have a bunch of coils over here, a bunch of skylights, some of our heavier gauge metals right here. This is actually a new tech machine. We have a couple of these. They can go to the site and we can roll panels. So we just got back from Nebraska a couple weeks ago. We ran 1,000 feet of panels in like 45 minutes. It gives us the ability to go there, run the panels, come back, do different things. It has different profiles. We have foam closures, screws, rivets, just about everything you could think of. That's all the equipment. We're pretty blessed. We got a lot of awesome equipment, a lot of advanced equipment, but none of it's possible without the group of guys that runs it, between Trey, Matt, Badger, Andrew. They make it all possible. They do great work, and there's not very many companies, operations that have 4 guys who can knock out as much metal as them. These guys probably turn out more metal than just about anybody in a small amount of time, and they're great at what they do. So we're lucky to have them. And this is RM Custom Metals. This is what we do. Give us a call, 785-628-7663.